There we go. Might help if I unmute myself. Okay. Welcome to Rewriting Reality. So this is a bonus show because Jessica thought that we were doing the show the fourth Monday of the month, and I thought we were doing it the last Monday of the month. And most months that's the same day, but not this month. So we're doing it both this month. And for those of you new to the show, I am a reality shifting specialist. This is my book over here, How to Rewrite Reality. And in the show, it's a call-in show. And sorry, the energy is already shifting for people. So this is kind of cool. In the show, I have conversations with the people that call in. And when I talk to you, I can tell when your conscious beliefs match your subconscious beliefs. And whenever they don't, then you're lying. Now, I don't care if you're lying to you. No, I don't care if you're lying to me. I care if you're lying to you. Let's get that right. And so what can happen is you could tell me, you know what, I'd like to make an extra $100,000 this year. And when you say that, I'll read the energy and say, oh, no, you don't. You don't want to make an extra $100,000. And from there, we can dig down and find out what's causing the lie. So it's going to be a belief or a story. Now, a story is just a repeating belief. So the belief could be, if I make an extra $100,000, all these people are going to say, could I have some money? And I don't want to have to say no to all these people or decide who to give that much money to. So it's better just not to make the money. Or if I make that much money, it's a lot of responsibility. So I don't want the responsibility. It's going to take a lot of hard work to make that much money. I don't want to put in all that work because that's going to be overwhelming. So I better not make the money. So all these reasons can come up as to why you don't want to make extra $100,000. And once we get to these beliefs, I'm going to ask you, are you willing to destroy that belief? Or are you willing to step out of that story? If you say yes, and you mean it, then the energy shifts in that moment. And whenever energy shifts, my body reacts. So you're going to see me on here pausing every now and then or going into the weird space because energy is shifting for the viewers on the call, and like it is right now. And I tend to yawn and cough when energy shifts, like I'm doing now. So I'm not sick. I'm not tired. This is just how it works for me. And if you're watching live, when I'm working on a particular person, when I ask them if they're willing to destroy a belief, if you say yes, because you have a similar belief, it will shift for you as well. And that's the wonderful, cool thing about this. So, and even if you're listening to the replay, it's going to work as well. So if you saw it, missed the live podcast, then just listen to the replay and see what shifts for you. And I've had people tell me they listened to the audio and then something just switched and reality was different for them. Good. Okay. So last thing, if you ever hear me say, ow, it's because the person I'm working on is going into resistance about what we're trying to clear. So sometimes you feel very, very strongly about a belief and you don't want to let it go because it's part of your culture or it's what you decided makes you you, but it's actually keeping you limited and stuck. And so for me, it kind of feels like you throw energetic daggers at me. It doesn't really hurt, but it gives me that sense of, no, let's not change that. And so I may say, ow. And those are beliefs we really want to dig out and get out of the way. So there's a lot of energy moving on this particular call, more so than we've usually had. So that's interesting. So that being said, let's see if there's anyone that wants to get worked on. So if you are a participant, just put up your hand. And if I see a hand up, I will make you a panelist so the rest of the people can see you. And then we're going to work on your beliefs. So let's start with Mark. There we go. Hello.
Well, hello. So I am one of the biggest things I'm working on right now is that last week was an annual conference that for more than 20 years was a big part of my life. And although I, at some level, don't really feel drawn to it anymore, I'm also really upset that it's no longer part of my life anymore.
Okay.
Trying to figure out, why do I care if I'm not drawn to be there? It just, it's looping and I've not figured out why.
Is it fear of missing out?
I don't think so because I got the app. I could tune in. I could connect anytime I wanted to. I'm not drawn to do that work anymore. And yet, yeah, yeah, I haven't put my finger on what it is.
Is what you're missing the work or the people?
The people.
Yeah. So are you cutting those people out of your life?
Apparently,
Yeah. So are you willing to destroy the belief that by not attending, you are cutting those people out of your life?
yes.
Because I'm sure there's some people that go to the event that you see outside the event.
Used to.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, the event is virtual this year, but also over the since my first event in '93, yeah, it's changed a lot as to who gets to go and when we connect, and yeah,
Okay. Hold on.
yeah, that just brought up a whole bunch of, wow, I haven't seen some of those people in a very long time, and they
Mhm.
live on other continents, and I don't see or hear from them.
Okay.
Yeah,
So is what your experience just sadness for losing all those people?
waves of sadness. Yeah, that's just, yeah,
And that's okay. Let that sadness come out.
yeah. And oddly enough, my contact information hasn't changed very much over the decades. So if they wanted to reach me, they know how to reach me. It's not
Okay.
like I'm hard to find in those circles.
But remember that people move into different frequencies.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So,
I'm I am very clear on the whole. It's actually one of the things that we're going to talk about later today. Is the whole, you have always said that, our frequencies will shift. The thing that I wasn't so clear on is how hard it will be when the people that were around us are no longer around us.
yeah, it can be hard because when you're operating at a completely different frequency than someone else, they either have no desire to be around you or they can actually create animosity towards you.
Oh, or make up stories about how your life choices aren't safe for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, 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 we have an hour dedicated to this topic. So yeah, that'll be a thing. But the sadness around the convention, and yeah, it's weird because I used to bend over backwards to make sure that I was at the convention and up to date and spending all hours. Actually, there's a really funny story of my wife and our friend coming along, and they didn't really believe why I always needed to go to the beach the weekend after until they lived through it. And they saw me by Thursday night, where I was so bleary eyed from all the things I'd been learning and doing and still going back for more on Friday. And they were having a very good laugh over it.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah,
Hmm.
sadly, I don't think Monica is making this call, so she'll have to hear that on the replay.
Okay.
She laughed her ass off. But yeah, I'm not drawn to do that work anymore, and yet there's still the whole change is fucking hard.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, truth, is it wrong to leave people behind?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Where the fuck did that come from?
So are you willing to destroy that belief?
Yes. Well, hello. Oh, goodness.
All right.
Yeah.
There's another thing coming up, actually. Do you have to be compensated for every good deed you've done?
Wow. Um, my ego is saying no. Fuck.
Okay. So are you willing to destroy the belief that you have to be compensated for every good deed you've done?
Yes. Okay, that's one of those from way the fuck out in left field. Didn't see that one coming.
Okay. How's that feel?
Yeah. Lighter. Yeah. That's yeah. Still not sure entirely. Yeah, English. Not entirely certain where that came from, but that's why we call them unconscious, because the conscious mind talking to you now didn't know that was there.
Yep.
Yeah. Cool. Awesome. Thank you so very much.
Welcome. Okay.
Demote me.
I will. Okay. Let's get the attendees. There we go. Hello, Arthur.
Shiraz. I would like to make $100,000 this
Mhm.
year. At the same time, I feel that if I were to make that money, that would make me arrogant, and I don't want that. So, so this is like a twist I can't really figure out by myself. I would like some help.
Okay. So why do you need to be arrogant if you have $100,000?
Um, I just really like being extravagant, and
Okay.
I think I would kind of like push it to the friends that or family that said you would never make it, and be like, no, here's my BMW filled with all this stuff or whatever. And yeah, it's kind of weird.
Okay. So why do you want to make the 100,000?
To prove that I can create my reality and that you guys were all wrong. That people who thought I couldn't.
So your whole reason for the 100,000 is ego based.
Yeah.
Okay, so that can be an issue in itself. So why is it so important for you to prove everyone wrong?
Um, because they hurt me with their comments before.
So people can only hurt you if you allow what they say to affect you. Right? So someone could call you a jerk and you could say, well, that's your opinion. I don't care. And someone can call you a jerk and you're like, oh my God, don't think I'm a jerk. It's the same words, but you can go into different reactions from it. So your choice of how you're going to let those words affect you. So, ooh, wow. Are you not going to be happy until you've proved everyone wrong?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you willing to destroy that belief?
Yes.
Yes, not a real yes. So if you're basing your success on just on the fact that you want other people to be wrong and you want to be able to put it in their faces, then that's not a great energy to generate success from, right? When you're doing it because you want to create more and do more and level yourself up for your own sake, that's a good energy to come from.
I actually, what I really am leaning towards right now of creating, any kind of money that I will make would be to plant trees all around the world for the environment, and also to create like a house where there's plantation and organic food and just live in nature with that kind of environment.
Okay.
To support my future children or something like that. The money's actually for that. But what I've said just now comes from like a past subconscious thing. But I'm moving towards what I just said though. So
what's more important to you? Setting up that environment or showing others that they were wrong about you?
Setting up that environment.
That's not coming up true. So, okay. Are you willing to destroy the belief that the only thing that matters is proving to those other people that they were wrong?
Yes.
Is there any reason to have success if you can't show it off?
No.
Okay. Are you willing to destroy that belief?
Yes.
Ooh. Energy there. Okay. So what if you created that $100,000 or created that environment and the people that you have been trying to prove that they were wrong just didn't care? How would you feel?
I'd probably feel hurt.
Okay. So again, what's going on is you're still doing this to get that validation and approval. So you're making it about them and not about you. As long as you're making it about them, you can never truly be happy.
Mm-hmm.
So you've given them power over your life.
Mm-hmm.
Ouch, there it is. Yeah. So are you willing to destroy the belief that you need validation from other people before you can enjoy your success?
Yes.
Ooh. Okay, how's that feel?
Feels really good. I feel really light. Thank you, Shiraz.
Welcome. Okay. Switch you down. And give a shout out here. I see some comments coming through. Hi to Michelle, my cuz. Hi to Stephanie Ann. Oof. Okay. And let's go to Marie.
I thought you said yee. Wow, how's it going?
It's going well. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I didn't have the greatest morning. Had don't know what you want to call it, with a friend of mine.
What
And that
you,
brought, was that?
what you want to call it with the friend of yours. Okay.
Yeah, it didn't turn out to be very good
Okay.
because she's so strong in her intuition that someone is manipulative and not a good person. So I know that at the end of the day, sometimes you really need to know and see where that person is coming from.
Mhm.
What stories and beliefs that they ride in, right? So then, and then of course it's the sense of ego that plays through, and the sense of needing to be right. So I had to walk away. But what came up for me was, in the past, I could self-sabotage for myself. So I realized that I have brought her in to plant self-sabotaging seed. Does that make any sense? So instead of me doing it myself, I've pulled someone in to mix up my thoughts and my energy and my sureness of what is.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's very convoluted, but yes.
Why do you want to sabotage yourself?
Because this is because I don't want to get hurt. I don't want old stuff to surface that I've worked through. And of course, sometimes the stuff that you work through, you don't really know how much you have or have not worked through until you get into the game of life.
Okay. So is it better to sabotage so you don't see how much is left?
Yeah, because then with that, just in my mind comes disappointment. Oh, I did it again. Why bother? Those are the words that come up.
So are you willing to destroy the belief that it's better to self-sabotage yourself than to find out how much you really have left to work on?
Yeah. And then it's the idea of, oh, if I have more stuff to work on, then maybe I'm not ready. So it's justifying that as well, using not having worked on all the stuff, because we're always working on stuff. We will always be working on stuff.
Yeah. So when you say not ready for what?
Relationship.
Okay.
Or moving into one, or discovering.
Okay. So it's better. Wow. It's better to sabotage yourself than to find out that you may not be ready for a relationship.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, we're never really ready. You just kind of, it happens. It flows.
It flows. But when it flows, you are in a place of readiness.
Mm-hmm.
Right. You're right now, you don't want to get to that place and say, oh, Marie, you still got this to work on. You're not ready for a relationship, but you might be past that and ready and in that space. But as long as you keep sabotaging, you're never going to find out.
Exactly.
So are you willing to destroy the belief that it's better to sabotage yourself than to possibly find out you might not be ready for a relationship yet?
Oh, wow. You cut out on that last bit.
Of course I did. Are you willing to destroy the belief that it's better to self-sabotage yourself than to possibly find out you might not be ready for a relationship yet?
Yes.
Okay, this is interesting. Are relationships tests?
Sorry?
Are relationships tests?
Yeah, that's kind of what's been coming up for me. I feel like I'm I feel like I'm being tested.
Okay. So whose story is it that relationships are tests?
Wow. It's kind of weird. It's I can't quite get clear on it because part of it's men, but then part of it women is coming up, women saying that it's men. It's again, it's not, it's a little layered.
So are you willing to step out of those stories that relationships are tests?
Yes. Oh,
Ooh.
so then it's the idea of like, is the person testing me, or is that just the story that I have in my head?
So if you have that story in your head, you can create the whole relationship as a test, or you will attract people that test you so you can justify the relationship as a test, or you will start testing your partners because relationships are tests, or all three, or two, or however you want to do it. Isn't that fun?
No, I'd rather none of that, actually. None of that feels nice.
Yeah.
For either party.
So when you are just present in a relationship and enjoying it for what it is, enjoying your partner for who he is, then everything's going to flow. And if things don't flow, you'll discover that either you're not really compatible, but you'll sort of feel, okay, that's there's not a sense of unity and harmony with this person, so maybe we're not a match. But if it's coming from that place of, well, I'm being judged and I have to judge and I have to test him and he has to test me, then it's a whole different energy. And when it's that case, you just want to clear it out so you can get back into harmony in the relationship.
Yeah, that's what I feel. It's more of like because I wasn't feeling fully aligned with myself on Friday. Seeped back in a bit on Sunday, came back on Sunday, lost it today, but then I just laid and there was just swoops of energy coming down, and it was like a complete reset, clear out, until like then bring it up by talking about it with you.
Okay. So if you don't constantly test a relationship, can you trust it?
Sorry, I all I heard was, if you don't constantly test a relationship and you trust it. That's all I heard. Was there more?
Can you trust it?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll do it again. If you don't constantly test your relationship, can you trust it?
Oh, can you trust it?
Yeah.
I didn't hear that part. I want to say yes, but no comes up.
Yeah. So are you willing to just step out of the story that you have to constantly test your relationship so you know you can trust it?
Yes. Yes. Oof.
Yeah, it's the deep one for you.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah. Because that constant testing is actually going to make the relationship break apart.
Yeah.
Whew.
Mm.
Okay. How does that feel?
Oh, it's a whole lot of not so good. Blah. It's how it feels. Blah. Oh. Yeah. I may need Mark's bucket. I wonder if Monica can bring it over. Oh,
If you need to go throw up, go throw up.
oh, that's a whole lot of nasty.
Yeah. There we go.
Oh. Oh my gosh.
How's that?
Yeah, not so nasty. Yeah, thank you.
Right. Send you back down. And bring up Monica. Hello.
Hello. It's only when we get chosen that we get access to our video and our
Yep.
mute button.
We're now the chosen one.
I'm struggling quite a bit with the fact that my office is opening on July the 6th.
Okay.
I really don't want to be there. But I don't think it's the job I don't want. It's just being around all those people and having to be on the 3 different buses and stuff.
Okay.
But I'm not sure, and it's been throwing me off ever since they announced it last Thursday. And I don't know. I just have this knot in my back, and getting feelings of anxiety every once in a while, and not always able to focus.
When you're back in public, do you have to deal with everyone else's energy?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Is it hard to deal with everyone else's energy?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you willing to step out of that story?
Yes.
Are you willing to step out of the story that you have to deal with everyone else's energy?
Yes.
Remember, you can be at the effect of it and have to, oh, I need to put up a shield, or I need to do this and I need to do that, or you can just say, let it all wash by. It's not my business. I don't care. Let them have their own stories. I'm just doing my thing.
Thank you. Yeah, I couldn't isolate that. I just knew something was driving me around the bend.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool.
Thank you. Now I know what to work on, and you already moved a lot of it. Wow. Okay. Thank you.
All right. Jerry. I'll get you up here. And you're on.
Hey, thanks.
Welcome. What's going on?
This is really tough. Stuff started coming up for me when actually having trouble speaking, like my heart is racing. Stuff came up for me with what Mark was saying. Oh my God. And Marie. And I think it's about not wanting people to leave, or feeling like I'm going to get left, or just this kind of abandonment like thinking that relationships are going to end, being in dysfunctional relationships, not being able to trust people. You know, there's stuff coming up about my parents' divorce and how many times I moved when I was a kid. And then just like the end of like all of my best friends, like when I was in college, like when we all went our separate ways, like it's been weighing on me, I think, for decades. And I just kind of worked through it, you know, as an adult. Like you move, you get different jobs and stuff, but I feel like maybe I don't know if I've convinced myself of a story or if I picked up on a story from that time, like at least me recognizing, oh, well, I can't trust anyone. Nobody's ever going to be there. I just have to be alone for the rest of my life. Like I can pinpoint the moment when I feel like I believed that, but I still don't understand like all the pockets of it and everything. But it's just, especially after hearing them talk about it, it just hit me like an elephant.
Okay.
I'm sweating.
Whose story is it that you can't trust anyone?
I don't know. Sorry, I'm a bit dizzy.
It's all right. So who taught you that you can't trust anyone?
I guess I did.
That's not actually coming up true. You bought it from someone else. So are you willing to step out of the story that you can't trust anyone?
I want to.
Okay, I want to. Yes.
I don't think so.
Okay. What's going to happen if you destroy that belief?
Amazingly, I feel like I can't trust people if I actually stop trusting people. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. As long as you're in that belief that you can't trust anyone, then you're going to encounter people who are distrustful. And then they're going to do things that break your trust. And so you can say, oh, look, there it happened again. And there it happened again. This is just more proof that I can't trust people. But when you step out of that story, you'll start to encounter people that you can trust. And yes, you'll still have people that you can't trust, but the belief now is that you can't trust anyone. And stepping into a belief where you can trust some people and you can't trust others is way better than you can't trust anyone.
Right.
So the other thing to consider is how people define trust. And trust for most people is when people behave the way you want them to behave, regardless of how they truly, like who they truly are. Right. So you tell someone, I'm trusting you with this. And even though they've shown patterns that they can't be trusted with that, you're like, I'm trusting you with this time. Can you do this for me this time? Even though you said you do it before and you never did it, can I trust you with this time? But you're going against the evidence of who they are. And then when they break your trust, you're like, oh my God, I trusted you again. Right? But when you start to look at people for who they really are, then you trust them to be them. Right? If you had a friend who's a gambling addict, would you give him $10,000 and say, I trust you to take this and deposit it in the bank for me?
Right. Absolutely not.
So instead of trying to fit everyone into your world according to your rules, when you start to just really observe who people are, really be aware of how they act and their personalities, then you can trust them to be them.
Right.
And if they don't do that at any given time, then all you know is that you didn't have all the information, and now you've got some more information. So now you can trust them to be them with that new information. And eventually you'll know how to interact with every person in your life in a place of, I know exactly how they're going to respond because I see them now, as opposed to I see them through my filter of who they should be.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So are you willing to just step out of the story that you cannot trust anyone?
Yes.
Ooh. Okay, how's that feel?
Better.
Good. Okay, so the next part is, are you always going to end up alone?
I don't know. No.
That's not coming up true. So are you willing to step up the story that you're always going to end up alone?
No.
No. So what's the benefit of being in the story that you'll always end up alone?
I think maybe there's more safety knowing that people won't be around than hoping they will be. And then when they're not, being disappointed.
Okay. But what you're doing here is you're trying to avoid a particular situation that may or may not come. And in the times when you are with someone and you are not alone, you're not truly enjoying the moment because you're afraid that at some point you're going to be left alone. So if you are out of that belief, then whenever you're with someone, you can enjoy the moment. You can enjoy the uh, the being with them, right? The laughter, the fun, whatever it is, you can enjoy that without having that underlying belief. Well, at some point, this is going to end. I'm going to be left alone. So every moment you're in that story, you're preventing yourself from having as much joy and happiness as you possibly could. And every moment you're in that story, you're actually creating the outcome of being left alone eventually, because that's the story you're in. That's the energy you're creating. And the people you are with will tend to buy that story from you and figure out a way to leave you alone. Whereas they wouldn't normally if you're not in that story.
Right.
So try it again. Are you willing to step out of the story that you always end up alone?
Yeah. Oh my God.
Whew. Okay, how's that feel?
Very different. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. And Snez. Are you there? You're not muted, but I'm not hearing any sound.
Hello.
There you are. Okay.
Oh, there I am. How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
Oh, okay. No complaints. Well, not at the moment. Still at home. Still doing that COVID thing. Home alone. But that's okay. It's part of everybody's life, right?
Mhm.
Anyways, while I've been home for all these months, I've been doing a lot of self-searching and just trying to figure out where things are, where I'm coming from. And I've come to a realization that I have a belief that I haven't been in relationships because I feel I'm not good enough. And the few relationships I've had, somehow when I ended the relationships, and it seems that I was in the relationship, it's because I feel I'm not good enough. And but I know I am, but yet somehow I feel that I'm not. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
I know exactly what you're trying to say. Who taught you that you're not good enough?
Um, I have a feeling it's from my parents, that particularly my dad, right? He was always very overbearing and protective of me. So I'm just guessing that it came from my dad, but in some ways it's a toss up in my head between my parents or me.
Yeah. So it's actually more from your mom. And it's not that she didn't think you were good enough, it's she didn't think she was good enough and you bought that same story for yourself.
Ah,
So
that could be. She is pretty powerful lady.
so are you willing to step out of the story that you're not good enough for a relationship?
I am willing to step out of that story.
Okay, that wasn't a real yes.
Okay.
So that was more of like, I'm willing and I hope I can, but I don't know if I really can. There's got to be a solid yes, I'm willing to step out of that story. So do you feel you can actually step out of that story?
Yes.
Okay, so that's not quite true either. Okay, so are you willing to destroy the belief that you're not powerful enough to step out of that story?
Yes.
Okay. Now, are you willing to step out of the story that you're not good enough?
Yes.
That's better. Ooh. How's that feel?
Interesting.
Okay.
Uh, it feels better,
Okay.
but yeah, my head feels like it's gonna split open.
Okay.
Yeah, much
Wow.
better. Wow. been a long time since I cried. Thank you.
You're welcome. It's good to have the emotional release.
It sure is.
Okay. Thanks for being on.
Thank you.
Welcome. Okay. Oh, did I not get that? There we go. Doesn't seem to be. There she goes. Okay. All right. We're at 3:50 and we've run out of hands. So that's going to be our show for the, oh, someone out there is shifting in a big way right now. Okay, so one of the listeners got a good shift out of that last one. Ooh. Okay, so that is it for this month. And I'm pretty sure we're going to be back on the last Monday of the month, as long as Jessica and I have our wires, is it crossed or uncrossed? And then if you are watching this on Energetic Magic, go to The Breakthrough on Facebook and you will see shows like this and others. And Ask Crystal is coming up, not today, but soon. And she's got a great show, so tune into that. Ooh. And otherwise, if you want to go to energeticmagic.com, you can see what events are coming up over the next month. We've got a lot of things planned, including workshops on creating money and workshops on getting out of stress. So if you are having issues with either of those, join us. Thank you for being part of this. And I saw a comment there. And that's it for now. So be well, be aware, and be magical. Bye-bye.